Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 2 of C. And this is the follow-up to the first season of one of the launch titles for Apple TV+. And this is from creator Stephen Knight, who most people know from films like Locke and, fortunately, Serenity, but also creator of Peaky Blinders. So he has a pretty cool track record with some of his work. And this show felt a lot more just like style over substance for that first season because like it just felt so drawn out and nothing really of real big consequence I felt like happened most of that season. Then you jump forward to the second season and there's a lot of new conflicts, and you have at the centerpiece you have Jason Momoa back as Baba Voss, who is the main character of the show. And he not only is trying to protect the woman he loves, Magra, played by Hera Hilmar, who has her own plot threads in this season, which I'll talk about in a second, but like protecting his like basically adopted children, Kofun and Haniwa, who both have some interesting developments in this season as well. But this time they're trying to take back control of their the city and the kingdom that Magra's sister, Kane, who's played by Sylvia Hoeks, who it's a strange balance between like overacting and just being ridiculous and also being compelling, and she flutters between those two things. But there's a much more deeply connected personal thing going on in this season because Jason Momoa must confront his brother Edovas, played by Dave Bautista, and that's a much more compelling story in the second season. And also when they actually have like blow-offs physically, it's worth the wait. And that's the thing too, because like the action of this show is really great. It's really well shot. Bear McCreary's music just elevates everything going on here. But like this idea of everybody not being able to see except for very few people really sets up interesting choreography in the fighting. And like the season finale of this was like an all-out war. And it was worth it. This was an exciting finale, and they had some really strong action throughout the season as well. There's definitely still moments where this feels overstuffed and trying to do too much, and some things feel less interesting than others. And some of the characters felt like they were not as well utilized in this season, and you do have that at the center there, and like the sisters struggle over the throne, which is an interesting development, but Kane has a very interesting development with Kofun, and I felt like that kind of took me out of like really connecting with Kofun, who's supposed to be one of like the young leads of the show. And by the end of this season, I didn't really care about him much, and also judged him a lot. But you know, it's going to be interesting to see where this show takes him in the next season, because then you have Haniwa, who I felt like was one of the big highlights of the season with her developing relationship with the character Ren, played by Epstein, and her conflict, Ren's conflict, is one of the more compelling elements of the season as well, because she is in love with Haniwa, but also is Edovas's like right hand, and that causes a lot of tension and deceit and emotion, and there's some big emotional moments of this season too, and like Jason Momoa really gets to shine in this series. Bautista really gets to shine in this season that he gets to appear in. You kind of have some of like the other bigger names, some of the characters get pushed to the side a bit. You know, you have Alfre Woodard, who I don't think gets to do as much in this season, and I think her character's kind of let down in this season. But in general, this was much more interesting and had a lot more emotional impact for me. And also, they had some more interesting plot points and narrative directions that it was going in, and also really capitalized off of the amazing action and visuals of this show, because this is a really interesting and engrossing world that this show takes place in, and they really deliver in this season on those things. And I could watch that season finale over and over again because it was just really awesome and exciting and emotional and sets up some compelling and intriguing ideas moving forward, because it leaves a lot of our characters into new places where they have to figure things out, and leave you just a little stinger there right at the end, which, you know, if as you're watching the season, you know one particular character is like never gonna stay down. But those are my thoughts on second season of C. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.